Hi guys, the look I did for you today was a really wearable glowy gray eyeshadow look. I think it's very appropriate for school or work, and it also kind of transitions to night really well. So if you're going out at night, you don't have to worry about changing your makeup. I layered two shadows that you might not necessarily think of putting together, a silvery gray and a gold shadow. But it actually, when you layer the gold on top of the gray, it creates a really pretty glowy effect. As you can see, it's just kind of, it's really flattering, and I don't know, this has kind of been my go-to look a lot. I've been wearing this when I can't really think of what else I want to do with my makeup, and I just want something neutral that goes with everything. So if you want to see how to do it, keep watching. So I usually don't show this step, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did to prime my eye. I used Urban Decay Primer Potion. And starting in the crease, apply it there and blend around the edges. And on top of that, Painterly Paint Pot. I use this every day as well. In the crease, and then blend around the edges. Normally I wouldn't deposit this directly into the crease, but since I applied a primer, I really don't tend to have problems with these paint pots creasing. They hold up pretty well, so a little bit underneath. Okay. For my base, I'm using the Benefit Creaseless Cream Shadow Liner in the color Skinny Jeans. I'm using this because it's really pretty, like pewter gunmetal color. As you can see, it has some gold in it, so it's going to really keep our shadows from, our gray silvery shadows, from getting that kind of blue tint to them. Also, I'm using this because I know it's a really popular color. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys have this at home and it'll make it easier to follow along at home. This is one of the most popular colors in these line of shadows. If you go to the Sephora website and check out the Creaseless Cream Shadow page, almost all the comments are about skinny jeans. So everybody loves skinny jeans. And as do I. On a large flat shadow brush, just taking some of that creamy shadow and running it along my lower lash line. You can use a 252 for this. On top of that, I'm going to apply MAC eyeshadow in Silver Ring. And usually I would stay away from anything like really silvery or metallic-y, but this isn't really like the color of an actual silver ring. If you swatch it lightly on your hand, you'll actually see that it has some warm tones to it, so it actually works really well for this look. So on that same brush, you can clean it off a little bit. Just applying it, bringing it up to tap the top of my eyeball, which sounds really disgusting, but obviously you want to just do that very lightly. And bring it around in a semicircle. And I turn my brush sideways just to blend out the edges. You can take whatever is left and run it underneath. To get the really pretty glowy effect in your inner corner, I'm going to be using a color that I've been using forever, and it's still available. It's Blunt by Urban Decay, and it's kind of like a, they describe it on the website as a light gold, but it actually is like a champagne with like peach tones, and it's really pretty. You can build it up to make it more opaque, or you can use it on a small chisel brush like this one to just get a nice beautiful wash of champagne color. So I'm just touching it to that inner corner, just kind of sweeping it out in a circle around the spot that I originally placed the color. And to get that really pretty glowy effect, take it and brush it across the gray, and you can bring it up pretty far. Love these two colors together. And then just to keep it nice and bright in that inner corner, it's going to take some more and run it underneath about, I'd say like a little over halfway actually. I'm going to take it in pretty far. I'm also going to take this shade and use it as my highlight. If you build it up, it becomes super shimmery, but just a nice light application gives you a pretty golden wash. Then, for our crease color, I'm using another one of my favorites. This is Print by MAC. It's a nice, subdued kind of charcoal color. It's great if you're trying to achieve a smoky eye that's not too intense. So dipping the tip of my MAC 217 into that shadow, tapping it off. And if you have trouble blending darker colors like this in your crease and you find that it gets like spotty or blotchy, I would actually recommend just starting to move it in small sweepy circles. I can't talk today. Small sweepy circles. I'm doing it even before I touch my crease, almost before, so it's kind of like being blended right from the start. And now I'm touching my skin, and it's kind of placed pretty easily. It's not blotchy or too intense. Then I take my brush and in a zigzag motion pull that color down to my lash line. Okay. Now on a small pencil brush, this is a 1/16 round crease brush from Coastal Scents. I love their pencil brushes. They're very affordable and they work wonders. So I'm just going to make a little upside down triangle, this being the long side and the two short sides. And swirl that up a bit. So it's just going to give you a little bit of extra lift towards the outer edge of the eye. And then whatever is left on the brush, just barely drag that onto the lower lash line, like less than a quarter of the way down. Okay, and surprise, surprise, for my brow blending color, I'm sure you can guess, I'm going to use Laguna Bronzer by NARS. A little bit on the tip of a large fluffy blending brush, and just placing that right above the crease color. Pretty easy. So for this look I'm using the Blitz and Glitz Fluid Line by MAC. I don't know if you can see, but it's got some little gold flecks of like shimmer. Actually haven't used it that much, which is really weird because I really like this color for looks like this. It's definitely a warmer black, so it goes perfectly with the warm tones that we've been using. By using a synthetic angled brush, it makes the liner a lot easier to smudge. So I'm going to apply a thicker line to the outer edge. So I'm not really making a defined wing. I'm just blending and smudging this liner upwards until it kind of fades off into the rest of our shadow. I'm just going to apply some CoverGirl Lash Blast volume, and I'll be back to show you what I did with my cheeks and my lips. Okay, so that's the look. Super easy. I'm actually surprised that didn't take me very long at all. The Bare Minerals Faux Tan, and this is the matte version, and I'm swirling it on large fan brush, also from Bare Minerals. You guys have seen this before. And giving my face just a little bit of a contour slash, you know, warmth, whatever. I really like this product, guys. It's so scary when you look at it in the actual container because it's like the color of like mud, but it's not muddy on your face. Really gives your face a nice warm kind of just back from the beach, but not the tanning bed look. For my blush color, I'm using one of my favorite blushes, and that is Orgasm by NARS. Just dusting that on the apples of my cheeks. And one of my favorite glosses, Bare Minerals lip gloss in Citrus Tart. So that's just a really pretty peachy pink color you can see in the tube. It's kind of like a corally nude. I don't know, but I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and please try it out at home, and I will talk to you soon.